Why does Frank Gurney Incorporated belong to AGC? AGC is pretty important to me. And if I were going to put a philosophy behind it, it comes from this, that I think every human being has a purpose. And the purpose of a human being is to succeed and achieve. And only when you do that yourself can you really fulfill yourself as a human being. And that transcends. That transcends to yourself, your family, your business, your community, and your industry. And I totally believe that on that vein, government handouts create government dependency, which robs the juice of purpose out of a human being. And so, in that vein of succeed and achieve, you use every tool you possibly can to do that, which creates betterment of all those 5 things I just listed. Betterment of yourself, betterment of your family, betterment of your company, your industry, and your community. And AGC is a tool that we can use to basically compound that effort towards success. And so if you choose an endeavor such as contracting, as those of us that do belong to this association do, the number one thing you need is an opportunity to bid work. You need that opportunity to bid. And to that end, the government affairs, to me, is just about one of the most important reasons for us to belong to AGC. And to take that a little bit further, obviously, the piece of pie is the funding that the taxpayers give to our government. The government has the mandate basically to do infrastructure spending. And so therefore infrastructure spending to our vein, rather than those others that go for doling that money out in handouts or whatever, we have to fight for our share of that taxpayer pie. And to make known that the government mandate is to provide that which none of us can do by ourselves. So that being the primary reason. The second reason I believe that AGC is so important is the other things, which are apprentice, the networking, the things that we can do together, and the learning that we have, especially with our whole network of national AGC, our Northwest chapters, and then we have our own home chapter here. And so we can be proud of all that because it's all for the good of all of us. And so to have good people at the helm of our chapter, all the folks in staff and Cheryl that run this chapter and keep it all together and keep the people together, it's actually an excitement. And it's an excitement that creates a betterment for all the contractors that are in this community and belong. And like I've long said, 10% will pull the wagon. And a lot of folks are just built to take the ride and do the benefit. But that's the human nature part of it. But kudos to the 10%, and you keep trying to get everybody involved. But pulling this wagon is very important, simply because people will pay attention to a chorus as opposed to the one voice. And we do have a chorus here. And that's why I've long felt too also that belonging to this AGC ties us with national AGC, and even probably equally as important, ties us to AGC of Washington, because we do have the same issues as AGC of Washington does. So I'm not certain. I remember when I was president, the joint operating agreement was really important because, especially on legislative issues, it put us together to go back to Washington, D.C., as well as other issues that came up at the time. And it was also good to have knowledge and know what the other guys are doing over there, and so that we could be on the same team, so to speak, with regard to labor issues and government issues and all the rest of it that would come up. So hopefully that's a little bit of insight as to how I think about it at AGC. To put it mildly, I'm a big fan, and that, along with my son Carl, who is on all the labor trusts. Between the two of us, labor is pretty important. So we are the AGC. You bet.